Have you noticed how, after turning 40, the body starts to change without us even realizing it? What once seemed easy, maintaining weight, gaining strength, having energy, suddenly becomes harder. And while many people blame age alone, the truth is that small details in our diet make a huge difference, especially when it comes to something seemingly healthy like nuts. In Buddhist wisdom, diet is seen as one of the pillars of longevity. It's not enough to simply eat good foods. It's essential to understand what strengthens and what weakens the body over time. And when it comes to nuts and seeds, this teaching becomes even clearer. Not all of them are friends to the mature body. Some silently speed up aging. Others strengthen muscles, the mind, and vital energy. Knowing the difference is what separates those who merely grow old from those who age with health. In this video, you will discover the 4 nuts you should include in your routine to gain strength, protect your heart, and maintain vitality. And you will also find out the 4 nuts you should avoid if you want to preserve your body, mind, and energy for the years ahead. This is not about trends or passing diets. It's about the difference between strengthening your foundation or unknowingly accelerating your decline. And the most impressive part? Many of these wrong nuts are seen as healthy, but they hide dangerous traps. So if you value your future, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to continue receiving content that truly adds value to your life. And leave a comment below. I choose to age with strength and wisdom. This phrase seals your commitment to your body and opens the path to more conscious choices moving forward. In a world where many accept the idea that aging means getting sick, there are silent groups proving exactly the opposite. And perhaps the most powerful example comes from Buddhist monks who, even after 90, 100, or even 110 years of age, continue walking steadily, eating with appetite, meditating with clarity, and living with an energy that seems to belong to another dimension. But what few people know is that, beyond mental and emotional discipline, their physical secret to longevity is much more connected to diet than one might think, especially to making the right daily food choices. Inside the temples, food is not just about satisfying hunger. It is fuel to keep the body strong, agile, and resistant to time. And among the most sacred foods in this practice are nuts and seeds. But here lies a crucial difference. Not all nuts sustain the body over the years. Some, even though they are natural, cause inflammation, overload the body, or accelerate its breakdown without the person even noticing. Others, however, are true elixirs of vital strength, rich in nutrients that regenerate, protect, and renew muscles, bones, and even the brain. These monks, living in deep contact with nature and their own bodies, have learned to observe what food causes over the long term, and not just the immediate pleasure it brings. They know that eating wrong for decades creates fertile ground for disease, loss of strength, and premature aging. That's why they avoid certain types of nuts that, although they seem healthy, internally throw the body out of balance. And they prioritize others that act as small, daily, natural remedies, keeping the physical structure firm while the mind expands. Throughout this video, you will learn exactly which nuts strengthen the body from the inside out, supporting muscles, energy, and vitality, even after 40, 50, or 70 years of age. And more importantly, you will also discover which nuts seem harmless, but are quietly sabotaging your health. This knowledge, kept and applied generation after generation in long-lived communities, is now being shared with you. And the difference it can make in your life might be much greater than you imagine. Get ready, because what's coming isn't just a list of foods. It's a true roadmap for aging with dignity, strength, and freedom. And the most impressive thing? Through simple, accessible, and powerful choices. Among all popular nuts and seeds, peanuts are perhaps the most treacherous for anyone over 40. They're cheap, found everywhere, and promoted as a healthy option. But behind that innocent appearance, they hide silent risks that can accelerate aging and weaken your body. Buddhist monks who pursue true longevity completely avoid peanuts in their daily diets. And the reason is simple. Peanuts are extremely vulnerable to fungi and invisible toxins, mainly aflatoxin, a potent carcinogenic substance that accumulates in the food during storage. Beyond the toxic risk, peanuts also carry another serious issue for those over 40. They are highly inflammatory. Over time, the body naturally reduces its ability to fight internal inflammation, and foods that worsen this process end up speeding up muscle degeneration, loss of strength, and tissue deterioration. Frequently consuming peanuts leads to a state of silent, chronic inflammation, often manifesting as joint pain, unexplained fatigue, and even difficulty in muscle recovery. What seems like a healthy snack could, in reality, be pushing your body towards slow, invisible collapse. Another critical problem is the imbalance of omega-6 fatty acids. Peanuts are extremely rich in omega-6, a type of fat that, when consumed excessively and without the proper balance of omega-3, stimulates inflammatory processes in the body. This not only increases the risk of cardiovascular diseases, but also impairs muscle regeneration, which is essential for maintaining physical autonomy after 40, 50, or 60 years of age. Monks who live to 100 understand that it's not enough. To just nourish the body, it's necessary to avoid anything that causes invisible internal damage. If you have the habit of consuming peanuts or peanut-based products like processed peanut butter, salted snacks, or natural bars, it's time to rethink. It's not about cutting them out forever, but about understanding that, after 40, every small choice either builds or destroys your vital reserves. Keeping peanuts as a staple in your diet is too big a risk for anyone wanting to age with strength, vitality, and freedom of movement. There are much better alternatives, and soon you will get to know each of them. Pistachios are often seen as a healthy, light, and even fun option. After all, they come naturally wrapped in their shells and seem harmless. But what few talk about is that after 40, excessive consumption of pistachios can become a true silent enemy of your health. Buddhist monks, who live based on moderation and listening to their own bodies, know that even good things, in small doses, can become toxic if used without awareness. And pistachios are one of those foods that, when eaten without limits, accelerate processes of invisible aging and wear. The first problem is their caloric density. Pistachios are extremely high in calories for the quantity consumed. In just a few minutes, it's easy to ingest 300 to 400 calories without even realizing it, an energy value that, if not properly burned, accumulates as visceral fat, which lodges around organs and is highly inflammatory. After 40, metabolism naturally slows down. What was once easily burned now turns into hidden overweight, and with it comes insulin resistance, inflammation, fatigue, joint pain, and loss of strength. Another critical point is the excess sodium present in most industrialized pistachios. The majority of pistachios sold in the US are roasted and heavily salted, and, as we've seen before, excessive sodium is one of the biggest vitality saboteurs after 40. It causes water retention, raises blood pressure, and generates microinflammations that silently drain your energy. Long-lived monks avoid any food that, instead of truly nourishing, overloads the circulatory and lymphatic systems. And in this context, processed pistachios are a hidden danger behind an attractive shell. There's also the problem of compulsive eating. Because they're small, easy to eat, and addictive. Especially when salted, pistachios stimulate unconscious overeating. And when you surpass the point of satiety without realizing it, you send a stress signal to your body. Stress, combined with excess calories and sodium, creates the perfect environment for muscle breakdown, loss of agility, and accelerated aging. Monk's wisdom is clear. It's not just about what you eat. It's about how much, and with what awareness you eat. If you enjoy pistachios, you don't have to ban them forever, but it's essential to reduce the quantity, choose unsalted versions, and eat mindfully, respecting your body's signals. After 40, the challenge isn't to eat less, it's to eat better, with more presence and intelligence. And next, we'll reveal another even more dangerous trap, one many consider healthy, but which may be a major invisible cause of early muscle aging. Pecans are considered a delicacy in the United States. They appear in pies, desserts, cereal bars, snacks, and even salads. Because they are a natural nut, many believe that no matter the form, they are healthy. But the reality is that especially after 40, processed and caramelized pecans can be true invisible enemies to your body. Buddhist monks, masters of longevity, teach that not everything born from the earth remains pure once handled by human hands. And in the case of pecans, what was once a functional food can easily become a trap for your vital energy. The big problem lies in processing. Caramelized, salted, or syrup-coated pecans go through processes that destroy their original nutrients and add sugars, trans fats, and sodium at absurd levels. These details are enough to trigger silent inflammations, insulin resistance, abdominal fat gain, and accelerated muscle aging, exactly what the body tries to avoid after 40. By consuming pecans in this form, you are feeding what you should be fighting: inflammation, stiffness, and accumulated fatigue. Even the versions that seem more natural can be traps. Ready-to-eat pecans, even without obvious caramelization, are often roasted in low-quality oils and excessively salted. These oils oxidize during heating, generating free radicals that impair muscle and joint regeneration. Long-lived monks avoid overly processed foods because they understand that every invisible inflammation today is a physical collapse tomorrow. And this is a lesson we need to apply, especially in maturity. If you love pecans, the secret is not to abandon them completely, but to choose truly natural versions, raw, without added sugar, oils, or salt. Still, consumption needs to be moderate. After 40, the rule is clear. What you eat can be your medicine or your daily poison, disguised as pleasure. And by making conscious choices, you ensure that your muscles, heart, and vitality are not silently corroded. Macadamia are often promoted as one of the most noble and healthiest nuts in the world, rich, creamy, with a smooth flavor and velvety texture. Have earned their place on supermarket shelves and in the hearts of those seeking a more balanced life. But what few people know is that, especially for those over 40, excessive consumption of macadamia can be one of the invisible factors that accelerate fat gain and muscle weakening. Buddhist monks, who preserve longevity and vitality, know that not everything natural is automatically beneficial in large quantities, and macadamia are a classic example of this. The first point of caution is the extreme caloric density of macadamia. They are by far one of the most calorie-dense nuts that exist. In just 100 grams, you can ingest over 700 calories, a very high energy value for a small amount of food. And after 40, when metabolism naturally slows down, accumulating extra calories without noticing is an invitation to increase visceral fat. This fat, which lodges between organs, is not just aesthetic. It's dangerous, inflammatory, and linked to the accelerated loss of muscle mass. Another factor is the imbalance between fat and protein. Macadamias are very rich in good fats, that's true. But in terms of protein, which is essential for the preservation and recovery of muscle mass, they offer very little. In other words, you consume a lot of energy and fat, but don't provide your body with the raw material it needs to keep muscles firm and active. Monks who live past 100 years understand it's not enough to consume good calories. You have to nourish the structure that supports the body. Additionally, since they are extremely tasty and easy to eat, macadamia encourage unconscious overconsumption. In just a few minutes, you can exceed the entire caloric need for a healthy snack without even realizing it. And the excess fat, even if considered good, overburdens the liver, the digestive system, and harms metabolic efficiency, something that is already naturally more sensitive after 40. The secret to vitality is not just what you eat, but the quantity and balance with which you consume it. If you like macadamia, you don't have to completely ban them from your life, but it's essential to treat them as an occasional complement, not as a daily snack. Moderation and awareness are the true keys to aging with strength and autonomy. And now that we already know the nuts that silently sabotage your energy, it's time to discover which nuts monks use to strengthen the body, protect the muscles, and expand vitality. Even as the years go by, now that you know which nuts will silently sabotage your strength and vitality, if they remain in your routine, it's time to turn the game around. Because just as there are bad choices disguised as healthy, there are also foods that act as true silent allies of your body. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about from now on. Foods that not only nourish, but help regenerate your muscles, protect your heart, and sustain your vital energy for much longer. These nuts are choices that many long-lived monks put into practice, not because of trends, not because of fads, but because they have observed their own bodies over decades. They are simple, natural foods, but they carry an invisible potency capable of making a real difference in daily life. And after 40 years of age, understanding which nuts truly strengthen the body's foundation can be the difference between aging with freedom or with limitations. These foods work silently but powerfully. While most people struggle against fatigue, joint pain, and loss of strength, those who choose to nourish their muscles and bones with awareness begin to notice small improvements that turn into great victories over the years. And it all starts with what you put on your plate, or even in that quick mid-afternoon snack. So pay close attention. Now, we will reveal the 4 nuts you should include in your routine if you want to preserve your strength, slow down aging, and live with much higher quality. And the first of them is a true nutritional gem, known and valued for centuries: the almond. Almonds are much more than a healthy snack. They are a true secret weapon against physical aging. Rich in high-quality proteins, fiber, calcium, magnesium, and vitamin E, they provide exactly what the body needs to maintain muscle strength, bone health, and cellular vitality, especially after 40 years of age. And unlike many other nuts, almonds have a composition of good fats that not only protect the heart, but also reduce internal inflammatory processes, creating the perfect environment for the body to stay active, agile, and resistant to time. It's no wonder that, in Eastern traditions, they are considered a staple food for those who seek conscious longevity. Another powerful point about almonds is their extremely low glycemic index. This means they don't cause spikes in blood sugar, something crucial for those wanting to preserve stable energy and avoid visceral fat gain. As the years go by, maintaining a balanced metabolism becomes one of the decisive factors for delaying muscle loss. And here, almonds act as true metabolic protectors. Including a small handful of almonds a day, consciously, can improve satiety, optimize nutrient absorption from other meals, and also provide antioxidants that protect your cells against premature aging. Besides the physical benefits, almonds also have an interesting psychological impact. They bring a feeling of comfort and constant energy. Instead of generating that post-meal fatigue that many heavy foods cause, they sustain the body lightly and continuously. And this silent energy is exactly what Buddhist monks have always sought to maintain throughout their lives. Not just physical strength, but a lasting state of balance. If there's a simple food that can be the foundation of strong and conscious aging, it's certainly the almond. But be careful. As with everything in life, the key lies in moderation. A handful of almonds a day is enough to reap all these benefits, and preferably, always choose the natural version, unsalted, unsweetened, and without heavy industrial roasting. When you choose the right food in the right amount, the body recognizes it, responds, and strengthens, and time becomes an ally, not an enemy. Walnuts are considered, in many Eastern traditions and modern studies, one of the most complete foods for those who wish to age with strength and clarity. Rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, proteins, and essential minerals, they work on two fundamental fronts. They protect the muscle structure and strengthen the brain. And for those over 40, keeping these two pillars firm defines the difference between aging with freedom or living trapped by physical and cognitive limitations. It's no wonder walnuts have been consumed for centuries by long-lived cultures. They deliver what the body truly needs to resist time. One of the great secrets of walnuts is their high concentration of plant-based omega-3. This type of fat is essential for reducing internal inflammation, protecting joints, preserving muscle mass, and keeping blood flowing easily. When blood flow is healthy, muscles receive more nutrients, the brain works better, and aging naturally slows down. And while many people turn to expensive artificial supplements, walnuts offer these benefits simply and accessibly, directly from nature to your body. Another powerful aspect of walnuts is their ability to protect cognitive functions. Aging doesn't just affect the muscles, it also threatens memory, concentration, and reasoning. And studies show that those who consume walnuts regularly have better brain performance, a lower risk of neurodegenerative diseases, and greater focus and decision-making ability. In other words, they strengthen both body and mind, a rare and precious combination, especially at a stage in life where balance becomes the true treasure. To reap all these benefits, the recommendation is simple: a small daily portion of natural walnuts without salt, sugar, or added oils. Between 4 and 6 whole walnuts per day are enough to strengthen your body and protect your mind from the silent wear of time. And remember, the strength that sustains a long and fulfilling life does not come from excess. It comes from consistency in small, right choices repeated day after day. The Brazil nut, also called Brazil nut worldwide, is one of the richest natural sources of selenium, an essential mineral for those who want to age with strength, health, and protection against cellular wear. Just to give you an idea of its power, only 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day already provide 100% of the daily selenium requirement. This nutrient acts as a true antioxidant shield, fighting oxidative stress, the main cause of muscle degeneration, organ weakening, and accelerated aging. That's why, for those over 40, including the Brazil nut in their routine is like offering the body an invisible protection that works every day to maintain internal youth. The selenium in the Brazil nut is also crucial for thyroid function, the gland that regulates metabolism and directly influences energy and body balance. Over the years, the thyroid can become more vulnerable, leading to problems like weight gain, chronic fatigue, and muscle mass loss. By nourishing the body with the right amount of selenium, you help keep metabolism active, facilitating muscle preservation and daily vitality maintenance. And all this with a natural action, without the need for artificial supplements or aggressive medications. Another powerful benefit is the strengthening of the immune system. Selenium boosts the body's defense capacity, helping it recover from injuries, combat inflammation, and better resist common age-related illnesses. And since the Brazil nut is highly nutritious, it also offers good fats that protect the heart, magnesium that relaxes the muscles, and fibers that help control cholesterol levels. But it's important to remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Because it is extremely concentrated, the Brazil nut must be consumed in moderation. Usually, 1 to 2 units per day are enough to reap all the benefits without risks. Including Brazil nuts in your diet is a smart step to protect your vitality from the inside out. It's giving your body every day a reinforcement that goes beyond what we immediately feel. It's investing in muscle endurance, mental clarity, and metabolic strength. Longevity is not built on drastic, massive changes. It's formed through small choices made consistently, with wisdom and awareness. Hazelnuts are one of those foods that carry a silent power, often underestimated. While many people associate hazelnuts only with sweets and desserts, the natural version of this nut is a true source of pure nutrition, especially for those over 40 who seek to keep the body strong and resilient against time. Rich in vitamin E, magnesium, healthy fats, and antioxidants, hazelnuts work by protecting cells against premature aging, strengthening muscles, and continuously and efficiently supporting the cardiovascular system. In ancient traditions, they were seen as a symbol of wisdom and vitality, and now modern science confirms what nature has always known. The great advantage of hazelnuts lies in their ability to provide stable energy without inflaming the body. After 40, the body naturally becomes more vulnerable to silent inflammatory processes that corrode muscles, joints, and overall vitality. By including hazelnuts in your daily diet, you give your body not just nutrients, but continuous protection against these destructive processes. Their high concentration of antioxidants combats oxidative stress, one of the main culprits behind strength loss and the constant fatigue that so many accept as normal with age. Another impressive point about hazelnuts is their impact on the nervous system. The magnesium and vitamin E they contain help maintain healthy nerves and improve communication between the brain and muscles, which is essential for preserving motor coordination, response strength, and physical agility. In other words, while time tries to slow down your reflexes and strength, hazelnuts act as a protective shield that keeps body and mind connected and alive. Few foods offer this benefit in such a concentrated and natural way. If you're looking for a nut option that, besides being delicious, truly strengthens your body from the inside out, hazelnuts are a smart choice. Simply consume a small daily portion, about 5 to 10 natural, unsalted, unsweetened hazelnuts, to start feeling the positive effects. When it comes to aging with strength, clarity, and freedom, it's not about eating more, it's about eating better. And few foods fulfill this role as elegantly and efficiently as hazelnuts. Now that you know the good and bad choices, it's clear that every small gesture counts. You've seen that not all nuts are harmless, and that after 40, the body demands more attention, more strategy, and much greater awareness. Good choices can silently strengthen you day after day. And bad choices, no matter how small they seem, can wear down your body without you noticing, until it becomes difficult to reverse. Preserving strength and vitality isn't a matter of luck or genetics. It's a daily construction made from decisions that may seem small today, but accumulate over time, either building a solid foundation for your freedom or a minefield of future limitations. If you understood what was presented here, you have already taken a step that most people never do, the step toward awareness. And those who choose to act with awareness are already distancing themselves from those who merely grow old by inertia. Your body isn't asking for miracles. It's asking for consistency. You don't need to change everything overnight or follow impossible diets or routines that disconnect you from your reality. You simply need to make small, smart swaps every day. A better choice at breakfast, a more nutritious snack, a food that doesn't steal your energy, but instead restores vitality to every cell. That's how true strength is built. Without stress, without extremism, but with intention and wisdom. Starting today, every meal is an opportunity. Every handful of nuts you choose, good or bad, is either building or destroying your physical future. If you choose with awareness, your body will reward you with more energy, more mobility, and a better quality of life. And maybe the greatest gift you can give yourself is this: aging with autonomy, with freedom, and with pride in what you have built over time. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to receive more content that truly impacts your health and life journey. And comment below: I choose to strengthen my body with awareness and wisdom. This statement seals the decision of someone who is ready to care for what is most valuable, their own freedom,